All right. So he has this one song. He has this one song. I only picked a few of them. N95. And so the video is incredible. But here's what he says. He says, and some of it is just straight up slang, but whatever. He says, take off the foo-foo, take off the cloud chase, take off the Wi-Fi, take off the money phone, take off the car loan, take off the flex and the white lies, take off the weird ass jewelry. I'm going to take 10 steps and then I'm taking off top 5. Then he said, take off the fabricated streams, take off the microwave memes. It's a real world outside. And then he says, take off your idols, take off the runway, take off, let's see, what else did he say? Oh, take off the front flag, take off perception, take off the cop with the eye patch, take off the unloyal, take off the unsure, take off the decisions that I lack, take off the fake deep, take off the fake woke, take off the I'm broke, I care, take off the gossip, take off the logic that if I'm rich, I'm rare. And he says, take off the Chanel, take off the Dolce, take off the Birkin bag, take all that designer bullshit off, and what do you have? And then he says, you ugly as fuck. Like that, when he said, I was just like, oh my God.
Wow.
And it made me think on so many levels of how, in so many ways, like not just in my life, but I see it in other people now too, of just like all these different things to which we do to try to like cover up who we really are, how we feel inside, all these different things. And he's just like, the moment you take, like, even like you can say, take off some of that stuff, you can say, take off the busybody. And what do you have? You still ain't like, you still ugly as fuck, as he said. Like, it's just like there are some people that use busyness in order to, stay to not be there. This fake deep stuff. Like, and so I was just thinking on that so much of just like, yo, if you take off so much of that stuff, like who are you really? And it was one of the things I was thinking about. I had to like really go through, which is why I was just in love with this album. I was speechless. And like, because one of the things that I did a few years ago was I was just like, yo, I don't have a house. I don't have, like, my job can be so up and down. I feel like there's no financial stability. And I was like, I don't have all these different things. And I feel like I'm not anything. And I feel like I need those things. And like, but I didn't have them. And like, I remembered writing down, all right, I don't have this. I don't have that. But what do I have to give? And so much of it was just like, I'm a great listener. I'm this, I'm that. And like, it was like 40 something things I ended up writing down. And I tried to end up focusing on that instead of all the different things that I thought were going to make people respect me and love me more, make me love me more. I thought that like, money, all these different things is the fruit of my hard work. But like seeing someone smile or seeing the way that someone may be impacted by what I'm doing at night, it's not always the greatest. I'm just like, I would still like some fucking money. But I mean, like, just to hear him say that, because like the way he said it, take off the fake deep, take off the fake woe, take off the if I'm broke, I care, take off the gossip, take off the logic that if I'm rich, I'm rare. Take off the Chanel, take off the Dolce, take off the Birkin bag, take all that designer bullshit off, and what do you have? That's what he said. And then he was just like, you ugly as fuck, you out of pocket. And like, it was just one of those, it was beautiful, beautifully. And like, so I mean, that's what I was taking from it. So I'm just like curious. I know that was a lot to say.
I love that.
So I'm just like curious, like what in the world did your mind think when you hear that?
I love what you said. It immediately just makes me think of stripping myself down to my authentic self. Basically, your authentic self is who you are without being shaped by culture or other people or what other people expect from you or want from you, but just you being who you truly are, speaking your truth, being honest with yourself, being who you are, stripped of all those layers. And it makes me think of something I like to envision, which is if I was born in the middle of the field in a forest right now and had no one had ever told me how I was supposed to live or what I was supposed to think or what I was supposed to do or when I was supposed to have a job or when I was supposed to go to school or, it's just so fascinating. I love thinking about if I was born in a field right now with no past programmings, no preconceived perceptions of myself or other people, who would I be? And bringing out that person as my authentic self, like,
I've had the same thought in like a different way, where I've always thought, okay, like, because there's a lot of people I've met that are fighters, and they like to always be teaching this and doing this and all these different things. And I was like, y'all, let's say that everything that you've ever seen, every problem that ever was available that you've tried to solve, that you've wanted to solve, gets solved. What are you going to do then? Like, I've always been curious about that. Let's say everything that you're fighting for gets solved. What are you going to do? What are you like? And there's some people I've learned they need that problem in order to keep going. And I'm just like, so you'll find the next thing. But like, I've really been really focused on what would I do once that was if that were to get solved. This is probably what I'd do. Why don't you go do that instead?
Yes. Oh my God, that's deep. You like, we're going somewhere, there, and then you drop it. I love that. Damn. Say that like again. Damn.
Let's say every problem, everything that that's ever been an issue for you or within the world gets solved. What would you do then? Go do that.
I feel like we can just close up shop. I feel like I need to go do some shit. I love that. That like resonates with every cell in my being.
I mean, like that just.
I love that.
Just when the way he said it, take off all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it was such a beautiful thing.
Well, and it's like, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's like you are inherently worthy because you are the divine soul that you are. You are someone, not something. You are not worthy because of what you create or produce or how much you give other people or what you accomplish. You are inherently worthy and deserve everything you've ever wanted just because you exist as you are. Your only true job is being authentically you. Your
only true job. And it's just like, and you know what's crazy? Because he uses the words take off, which implies that then in order to be authentically you don't add more to yourself. You have to, like we just got through talking about. We ended up taking stuff off our Instagram so that we could be more. Like it's the same thing with like the book. I was trying to add more to it, but like what I ended up really needing to do was take stuff out to make it more authentic.
Yes.
Very interesting stuff.
I was trying to think of a book, and I just thought of it, that is basically Glennon Doyle. Have you heard of her? She's an incredible writer, and wrote about the process of unlearning. Basically that when we getting to a place of peace and balance and joy and contentment is generally done after we unlearn all the things that we were taught that shape us in ways that mold us the way we didn't want to be molded, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like this giant process of unlearning, which reminds me of what Kendrick's saying.
Oh my God, it's freaking beautiful.